moment I said, I'm stepping out of networking was the moment I'm like, I got referrals, I got new people, and now I'm getting more aligned. And now I'm meeting people all over. I'm technically an international speaker now because I've done a 4-year summit. So I feel like a lot more doors are opening up. So and then I'm creating a partnership with a gal who helps authors become bestsellers, but she does not help them write their books, which is like a perfect match.
That's great.
So Marisa, what do you do?
Me, Monica?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I do promotional marketing.
Okay.
So basically custom swag. So I just like to, and I also have I kind of promote a product called Send Out Cards. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason being is because when I talk to my customers and they buy those mugs and bags, they always come back to me and they say, well, but I just want to send a one-off gift. Can you do that for me? So I added that to my mix just more as a be able to service them better and help them, help them with the convenience side of things. So bottom line is it's putting your logo on stuff. I like to say I help people send more love to customers, prospects, and referral partners. So that's what I do.
Cool.
How about you?
Talking to me or Stephanie?
You.
Oh, me. Well, Stephanie's really interesting too. I help entrepreneurs become authors, and then after they become authors, I help them support their online content, build their online presence using convertible and profitable content and sales funnels. And then, I like to work with more, of course, entrepreneurs, speakers, and coaches. That's like my sweet spot.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Stephanie is on her 4th book, aren't you? Well, is it already out?
Already what?
Is your book already out, your 4th one?
Yeah, I've got actually 5 books out, 4 of them fiction and 1 of them marketing, and I'm working on creating a very souped up 2nd edition of the marketing one.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's nice.
I'm partnered up with an attorney who's been creating JV networks since before I was born, pretty much, and we're adding a whole lot of valuable new content. So I'm looking forward to publishing that.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I feel like I need to write another book. I'm just trying to, I have a fantasy novel in my head. I just need to get it out. I've written bits and pieces of it, but I haven't written like the entire thing. It's going to be pretty intense. It's going to be a lot of battle stuff, like killing. Little unknown thing that Dave does not know about me. Apparently I'm putting violence in my books.
I know you like to shoot guns.
Oh, there's not guns, it's swords. And it's fantasy. There's no gun. Well, I guess there is. You can have a gun in fantasy.
Gun that shoots magic.
There is a little bit of magic, but it's because like the race is like they're kind of like if you think of like what kind of power an angel would have, but it'd be like they're just right underneath that. I don't know. I'm kind of exploring what that could look like. And I'm exploring what could that look like with a person who is engaged with their like authentic self as well. Like what would that look like?
Well, with that, I think we can get started with our meeting. Chantel, are you ready to do the spiel, or do you need me to do that?
Why don't you do it? Sorry.
Okay, so welcome to AllPro Virtual Networking. We are the solution to not having to drive in traffic to get to a restaurant that you don't really want to eat at and getting interrupted by waitresses and then having to get back in your car and drive again in traffic. This is 45 minutes of get it done networking. We've been doing this. This is our 10th episode. We've been doing it every week. So the first step is that we ask everyone to use the chat in Zoom to tell where they're calling in from, location-wise, and their name. And then we'll go around the room and give everybody 60 seconds to talk about their business and what they do. And Stephanie was all prepared, so we'll let her go ahead and start. Welcome, Stephanie.
Hello, everyone. My name is Stephanie O'Brien. I'm a published author and webcomic artist. I've published 4 books on Amazon's Kindle, and I also help entrepreneurs to figure out what marketing materials they need, and I actually write those materials for them so they don't have to take time off of their main focus to write their emails, web pages, blog posts, etc. So if you'd like to help save some time, make some more money, my website is www.coachclientconnection.com.
All right, thank you, Stephanie. And next is Marisa. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. I've never done this virtual thing before, but this is so cool. I love it. And like Dave said, I think it's so convenient, but at the same time, when it snows or you're dreading it because it's too dark outside, not to mention I get to meet people from so many different parts of the country, and let alone anywhere, really, doing it this way. So this is really awesome. Thank you, Dave, for putting this together.
Sure.
My name's Marisa Huston, and my company is called Brandulation, and I do, technically what I do is promotional marketing. But like I said to, I said to Monica, my elevator speeches, I help you send more love to your customers, prospects, and referral partners. And I do that through obviously brand recognition and gifts, and just making people feel really special about doing business with you. And that's really my ultimate goal, and that's what I try to accomplish with my clients. So it's good to be here. Thank you so much.
Sure. All right, thank you. And next up is Monica.
Hi, I'm Monica, and I help entrepreneurs become authors, and then afterwards I help them create their online presence using convertible and profitable content. So bottom line, I take you from having presence and turn it into profits. And the sweet spot I really like is coaches and speakers, because they already have a lot of content for a book. They just haven't put it in a book writing format.
All right, thank you. And my name is Dave Kramer from AllPro Web Tools. We're an all-in-one software solution for running and managing your business. We've been doing this since 2009, so we're approaching 10 years. Pretty excited about that. And so we have received quite a few responses from the people who normally attend the event. Everybody's sick right now. We're the lucky 4 that are healthy.
Wow.
So I'm sure we'll have quite a few more people next week. But we'll let Monica go ahead and start her presentation now.
All right, give me one quick second. Oh, there we go.
By the way, you can join in when you're sick.
That's the whole point of it being online, or part of the point.
Right. No contagion here.
I was thinking, they can still join.
Right.
The only viruses are computer viruses.
Exactly. So before I get started, let me put myself on a load. Dave, can you give me a 2-minute warning?
Sure.
Okay. So before I get started, I do want to ask everyone, what prevents you from writing your book? If you have been thinking about writing a book, Stephanie's on it. But I do want to hear from another writer, what has prevented you from writing your book? If anybody wants to respond. Dave?
So I have a lot of things that I'd like to write about. And of course, I don't feel like I have the time to sit down and write a novel. So what I've been doing is kind of putting all my thoughts into my blog with the intention of kind of scraping all that information out at some point and creating one bound volume of all that information.
Oh, yeah. You can definitely do that. Anyone else? Oh, right. So I'm going to move on. So I already gave my introduction, so I make it a little quick. But as you know, I'm Monica Miller, and I help you write your book and then take you beyond that. Because I found that a lot of authors, once they write a book, there's really nothing there for them. So that's why I help coaches and speakers with their books, because most of the time they have that book as a way to build their brand and business. And if it's already communicating their expertise and their message, then it's a great way for me to help them leverage that and turn their offline content into online content to generate leads and income. All right, so I've written 3 of my own books, and I have been seen on Andrew and Eric's Experience Pros radio show, and like a year and a half ago, I've been featured in Badassery Magazine, Weaville Magazine, soon to be Founder Magazine. I believe that article is coming out in June, and I'm also an international speaker. That's so exciting. I was on a virtual summit, and that's geared towards African women. So exciting. And I've also been on Export Elevations podcast. All right, so many of you might have said, I'll write my book when, because I know some of you have said, I'll write my book when the kids get older, or when the summer comes, or in 2019. But, you know, it just keeps getting thrown on the back burner. Maybe you feel like there's never enough time, Dave, that, you know, you're just saying, I don't have enough time in the day. There's 24 hours in the day, but I can't fit it in. Maybe every time you want to begin writing your book, you get super busy, and that book goes back on the back burner, and you're already stressed, overwhelmed, and overworked, and now you have this crazy notion of adding a book into your life. How are you going to do that? There's many perks to writing a book, such as it can lead to more speaking engagements or higher paying clients. It sets you apart from your competition. Many of us, we have competition, but in order to set ourselves apart, is having no books or having a book to our name or brand. It builds your brand, because, you know, it creates that brand awareness to other people who may not have known about you. And it's a great marketing tool. If you were to receive a book besides a business card, you can guarantee that you're going to remember that person. Because if somebody gave you a business card, it's like, but if someone gave you a book, that's a huge marketing tool. So today I'm going to give you 2 strategies to write your book without divorcing your life, your business, your loved ones, or your soul. You don't have to lose any of these.
Woo!
Exactly. And you know, you don't have to divorce any of these, because I wrote 2 books in 90 days. And my husband didn't even know. And I was also running my own business. So strategy number 1 is you want to write your writing time inside of your calendar. I interviewed like 8 or 9 different authors, and they all said I had to write it inside of my calendar, because if I didn't, it would not have gotten done. So pick days that you can write inside your calendar, or you can write inside your book, and put it on your calendar. Set your intention. On Huffington Post, they said that you become 42% more likely to achieve your goals and dreams simply by writing them down. So once you write them down on your calendar, you're like almost halfway there to achieving your dreaming goal. It's just writing it down. Pick the days and time that you're going to write and put it in your calendar. So that might mean you have to give up social media or Netflix or something. Remember, it's only for a time. It's not forever. I'm going to share a story with you real quick. We know these lovely people, well, most of us do, Angel and Eric. They won the Experience Pros radio show, and they wrote 7 books in 18 months, which is crazy. How did they do it? When I interviewed them, they told me, Monica, you know, during those times that you're in between meetings, you might have like 10 or 15 minutes. What do you typically do? Well, we get on our phones and scroll. And they said we did not do that. We gave up Facebook during that small time frame, that 10 to 15 minutes, so we can write in our books. And that is how they were able to get 7 books out in 18 months. And they didn't have to give up social media forever. It was just for a time, which is, I find, really awesome. So you want to start adding apps into your life that is going to sync to all of your devices. So if you update on your laptop, it's going to be updated on your phone or your tablet, because you want to record your ideas and inspirations when they happen. So the first one I'm going to mention is Google Keep. I have Google Keep on my tablet, my phone, and my laptop. So if I update it on my phone, it will update on my laptop, which is, I love that. And if you're driving, they have a record button, so you can record yourself and take a note. these are for you to take the many moments while you're out doing errands or between clients or whatever you're doing. You can quickly take that note so you can capture that moment. You also can use Google Docs because you can sync that all across the board. There is Trello, Evernote, and Slack. All of these can be synced to all your devices, and when a thought comes, you can capture it right then and there. Strategy number 2 I'm going to teach you is, this is going to change everything for you. Because many of us have heard of authors who have said, well, I spent 8 to 10 hours writing my book. I mean, how many of us have that time? I don't have that time because we are entrepreneurs and we have so much other things to get done. We have our hands in too many things, and we don't have time to sit down for 8 or 10 hours unless we, of course, go to the mountains or isolate ourselves. That's the only time. But we do have 10 minutes. So when you write in your calendar, when you're going to write in your book, schedule it for 10 minutes. And you don't even have to do this every day. You can schedule it for 10 minutes 2 to 3 times a week. That is literally how I wrote 2 books in 90 days. Because I scheduled longer times, and then I made the goal to schedule longer times to write. So for example, during the weekday, I would write between 10 to 15 minutes. Sometimes when inspiration hit me, I would write longer because you want to honor your inspiration. And so while you're doing that, you can also have the intention of setting some time out, and you're saying to yourself, okay, I'm going to go on Saturday and go to the local library and write for maybe 2 hours. So you want to have the longer periods, maybe twice a month, maybe once a month, but schedule little times in your week, between 2 to 3 times a week. So what do you do now? So this is a recap of what I just talked about. So you want to schedule your writing into your calendar, write for 10 to 15 minutes, write 2 to 3 times a week. Don't neglect your inspiration. When it hits, honor it and write for a little bit longer, and make time to write longer periodically. That's all you need. This is just the first 2 steps to begin writing your book in no time. And I want to ask a real quick question before we get into the Q&A. So my question for you is, what is holding you back now after learning these 2 simple strategies to begin writing your book? Is there anything else holding you back? Feel free to speak up if you want.
Can I clap now? I thought that was awesome. That was wow.
Stephanie.
Yeah, one thing that's actually held me back from a couple of my projects is the research side of it. Sometimes my books involve cultures or elements that I just don't know that much about. But, the research requirements sometimes just make me think, well, you know what, that one takes too much research. I'm going to do one of my other projects that I know more about.
Yeah.
I actually talked with Diana from this group recently, and one of the things she loves to do is research and learning, so I suggested to her, and who knows whether she'll act on it or not, but I wonder if there's any type of service out there for people who actually do research for authors and compile and notes, okay, this is what you need to know for this.
That would be actually like a genius idea to do.
Yeah, suggested to her, whether it sticks or not, or
Stephanie, do you ever interview experts in a field? That might be one way to do it. It's more conversational, and then you can take notes or record it, and then that might get your brain going on what you want to write about.
That might be a good idea. And the particular project I'm thinking is some of the characters come from Brazil, and I don't want to be misrepresenting the culture.
Right.
All these little nuances to it. It'd be so easy for a foreigner to screw it up.
Yeah, I totally hear you, Stephanie.
And taking a trip there for long enough to learn enough about it to avoid screwing it up would be a very expensive and time-consuming prospect.
It would be. It would be a lot of fun.
Now, Monica, you were talking about, taking advantage of inspiration. And so my question to you is, as people are writing down things that inspire them, or maybe they have a topic, but it's all juggle, it's a jumble in your head. Is that part of what you help them address, is you kind of take all that information and try to figure out how to make sense of it for them? Because I think that's one of the things that hold people back, is because they have so much in their head that they just want to share and they don't know how to put it all together, so they give up before they even start.
Yeah, I definitely help them do that, because I realize that sometimes that's part of the process, but we also have to narrow down, okay, what should be in the book and what shouldn't, and then narrowing down that, because I know I had a client who has all of these ideas and I felt like he got really overwhelmed. So I really want to work with him, because now I'm like, you need to just narrow it down to a couple of topics and let's focus on those topics. And, if there's another book involved, okay, great, but let's save that for another day. Baby steps.
Now, does it have to be like a book, or can it be something that's an easy read that will still serve as a great tool for people to access? So it's not, is there a recommended amount of pages that you have to do, or is there a sweet spot? Because I feel like some people don't like really thick books because they feel like they're not going to be able to read it, right? So is there like a favorite page amount that you find, people like 50 pages, or I don't know, just wondering if that even matters.
For me, it's not so much the page count, is what is in the book, the quality of the information in the book. For me, I have found that, there's been business books like 50 pages long, all the way down to 400 or 500 pages. I don't think there's no right or wrong page number. Is whatever you feel like can be put in a book that's going to convey what you want to convey during that frame. I think a business book should be anywhere between maybe, 75 to 200-ish pages. But Stephanie, what's your thoughts on that?
Basically, I think a book should be as long as it needs to be to convey all the necessary information, and no longer. One thing I had to mention to one of the people I work with is you don't need to have 3 different almost identical examples of the same thing, and don't include any information that's extraneous to the topic at hand, because then people will just be staring, why are you telling me that? What does that have to do with that? Do I need to know that to understand this? Now I'm confused. What does that have to do with that?
That's interesting, Stephanie. I have a lot of experience in shooting video. And so typically when you're on the set, you shoot as much video as you can, and then you go to the editing room and you end up slicing probably half or more to the floor. And you try to keep the juiciest, most exciting parts so that the video is enticing and exciting all the way through. How would that relate to writing?
I think it's especially important in the earlier parts of the writing, like the first few paragraphs. Pretty much every word in the book, especially in the first few paragraphs, needs to relate directly to what the client needs to know, or to what the reader needs to know. It needs to show them how it's valuable, why they need it, and give them actionable steps for how to do it. If the information is extraneous, or it has nothing to do with the illustration or example you're trying to give, all it does is confuse them. Basically, look at your book. Anything that doesn't add to the book, whether it's a scene that doesn't move the plot along, or a piece of information that doesn't tell people how to get the result they want, it's probably best to cut it out.
Yeah, and I agree with Stephanie, because I feel like with the book, you want to ensure that, your book has an overarching theme. So you need to keep it within that theme. And like Stephanie said, make sure you have that action step and that implementation, as well as this is why you need to know this, because I view a book as a journey. You're taking a person on a journey, or it's like building a house. You can't add everything in a house. I guess you could, but that's going to overwhelm somebody. So if you want to keep it simple, you just want to build a simple house with them, and that's a journey of you need to know this before you know this. And like I said, by the end of the book, they should see the entire house and how it all correlates with everything. With the previous chapters. Does that make sense? I feel like that did.
Yeah.
So another question for you, Monica. Do you have a favorite success story that you could tell us? A client that you worked with?
So one guy I'm working with right now, so he's almost done with his book. Oh my gosh, he's so close. And he was so stumped for probably like 5 years. It's been a long time. He's been stumped. And we began working together, and within, we've been working together for almost 90 days, and he's now, like, he completed a chapter that he's been working on for such a long time, and now he's working on, finishing up his book. So in the next 2 to 3 weeks, he will have that book done, and it just took him, to work with me to get up some of that inspiration and to challenge him in certain areas to get him to really begin writing. And in my program, I'm forming a partnership with a gal named Alicia who helps authors become bestsellers. And I think he's going to become a bestseller because he will probably work with Alicia, which I'm really excited about. And so that's a story in the works right now.
Thanks for sharing, and thanks for such a well-prepared presentation. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
So now we're going to move on to our mastermind section of the event. And I would like to suggest that we speak about who do you work with in your business? Some people work with internal staff, but I think most of us work with third parties, independent contractors. So maybe if we can go around and talk about the different external companies that we work with that help us to further along our business. Who would like to start with that? Go ahead, Stephanie.
Okay, yeah, I do mostly work with independent contractors. I've never had any actual in-house employees. Just seems like too much paperwork and expense.
Yep.
For a while I worked with a virtual assistant. It wasn't really working out between us, so we parted ways after a while, but really taught me that you need to be very clear about your expectations and system and what you want, or the relationship's just not going to work. And at the time I wasn't. I'd never hired anyone before. And of course I work with AllPro web tools to handle the technology side of my things. I also partner with the guy I mentioned I'm working on the book together with, Matt Radin. He's an attorney and a JV specialist. He specializes in creating networks of people, so he actually handles the referral partner side of my business, finding referral partners and clients for me.
Nice.
And we split the profits.
What about computer problems that inevitably show up? How do you get those taken care of?
You see a guy who just walked past? That would be my brother, who has been known to crash 2 of his video games by trying to merge them and then spend 5 hours fixing it and not go insane and kill everyone in the house. If I tried to do that, I would go insane and kill everyone in the house.
Right.
So yeah, when something goes wrong, I run screaming to him.
Yep. It seems like we all have one of those people in our lives somewhere to help us with technology problems. Yeah, and that if you think about it, you can't really do everything to run a business if you really think about it. And we have two writers here with us today, and I think that's one of the underserved parts of doing business in this decade that may not have applied as much in previous decades, because everybody has a website, everybody should be blogging, everybody should be posting on social media, everybody, there's a lot of content generation. So I really try to encourage people when they come to me to ask, how do I market my business? Well, it involves writing. It involves writing, definitely. So Marisa, could we ask you the same question? What external companies do you work with to keep your business moving along?
So a lot, actually, because first of all, I have to be a part of our association in order to be able to provide the products that I need. The way our system works is the products come from factory sources from all over. They could come, made in the United States or abroad. And so what happens is there are what we call suppliers that distribute them to us, which are the distributor. And then we're basically essentially the project manager of everything. We look at what's available. We give the customer pros and cons. We look at everything from compliance to, the practicality of the items. And then I am the liaison between the customer, the supplier, and, getting them the final product. And so the customer just basically has to sit back and feel like everything was magically dropped on their doorstep by some fairy. But actually I'm here panicking, making sure that all those, everything is tied up in a nice big bow. So the vendors are a big part of what I do. And then in the association, we have proprietary products because, as you can imagine, I need access to hundreds of thousands of products at my fingertips. So we use specific tools to be able to access that information. And that kind of ties into everything we do, like our invoicing systems, that sort of thing. And then in terms of what Stephanie was talking about, I have, local people that support me. So like, I will not touch anything accounting. I have an accountant that handles all of my budgeting because I don't like doing it and I won't. So I just hand that to them every month and they take care of it. I'm not crazy enough to even try. And then the same with the computers. I've got one guy that specializes in more of like the office, the back office and syncing all the computers together. And then I have another guy who loves to work on more of the hardware stuff. Like if, a driver goes down or something like that, he'll, fix it for me or connect things together and do things like that. So I just try to focus all my energy on what I do best, which is serving the customer, making sure everything gets done right. And then anything that doesn't equate to that, I give to experts because that's just the best thing to do, really, in my opinion. So,
yeah, definitely agree with that. It's funny, a lot of entrepreneurs try to do everything themselves. And, when you're under the car trying to change the oil and you're, trying to sell your product and you're trying to fix your computer, it's funny, sometimes it'll take you 2 or 3 or 4 times longer to do something that the professional can get done. And nobody can replace you and your expertise. So if you really stick to your expertise, you're going to be the most successful. Monica, would you like to comment on this topic?
Sure. So I guess I work with, I don't know. I mean, I work with more solopreneurs and entrepreneurs. I don't know what you would call them. Would they be contractors?
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess that's who I work with is entrepreneurs so they can become authors. And I feel like there was a second part of the question.
Well, for you to manage your business, for you to further your business along, what kind of companies externally are helping you to run your business? What are some of the activities in your business that you just prefer not to do and you just sub that out?
I don't really do any of that. Of course, AllPro is, my main, my host, but I do a lot of things on my own right now. But I do have systems in place to make it easy on me. Like I found that whenever I write a blog, I take that blog and I just, make it into my social media. And my blog is also my newsletter. I said that once a week. So I ensure that whatever I'm doing I'm trying to maximize my time. That doesn't always happen. Let's put it that way. But I find that I have this system and I feel like it not only works, but it helps me to stay on track because I can write my blog post and have everything together within an hour. My social media, I do that and that's like another hour, but I'm scheduling the entire thing for the week. So I'm not just doing it in one day, it's a whole week and I'm on 3 different platforms. I'm scheduling that out and then I just copy and paste some things into my newsletter and then I schedule it to be sent out. So I have a system in place to help me manage my time in my business. And I use a lot of different systems to help me do that and to maximize my own time.
Awesome.
One of the things I want to do this year, and that is on my board behind me, is to hire a VA. That's a goal this year.
There you go. All right. And do you do your own accounting and taxes?
Okay. Well, no, I guess technically not because I do keep up with my stuff, my money and all that. I'm not the best out of it. I do want to hire a bookkeeper so bad. But anyways, right now I don't have one, but I do go to someone else to get my taxes done. My husband and I, back before I started my own business, what do we do? We did our own taxes and it was a nightmare and we were like, no, we're hiring out. We're just going to someone, we'll pay somebody to do our taxes. Now I'm like, I won't be touched that sucker.
And what about if your computer breaks? Do you fix that yourself?
My computer hasn't broken yet. Thank God. And if it did, it probably would be dead. Actually, it's just an old computer. It's so sad.
But you know what the cool thing is about all this is that making friends and getting to know people, we start to be able to ask people for help. You know, and remember the good old days when you weren't running a business, you know, the only thing you do is go on the internet, look for the first name on Google, right? And that's usually a bad idea. So I like to talk to the people in my circle and ask them, you know, who have you used before and how does that work out for you? And then usually the referrals are really great. And at the same time, then that's how we get referrals too. So it's nice that we can all help each other. So
Yeah, I guess I probably would call Chris Smith, Dave, to help me. I'll probably like yell at him, be like, where's my computer? Like dying. He'll probably understand me because you go, your computer is ancient, Monica.
Well, the reason I brought this topic up is that we recently had a staff of 10 employees in the office, and it's amazing the amount of overhead that comes with that. There was always 1 to 2 people sick every single day, which put more stress on the rest of the crew. And then there's all kinds of government paperwork and stuff you have to fill out and all kinds of taxes and it's just crazy. And then there's the training time. And then, you know, employees, they find a better offer somewhere else, or they move out of state, or they get pregnant, or some other thing happens, and now you're stuck with no employee again, and now you have to go hire again, and then train again, and fill out more government paperwork again. So we have recently started to reach out to third parties to do our marketing, to do our social media, to do our writing, and to even answer our phones. And you would think that hiring all these external companies is going to be so expensive and just going to cost you so much. But if you really calculate the expense with the taxes and the forms and the paperwork and things that you have to do, not to mention the distraction from your own time to run your business, you'll find that it's actually actually a little cheaper sometimes to hire external. And the quality of work that you get seems to be higher too. They will typically, if you hire another business owner who's a solopreneur, they take business more seriously than an employee does. Employee wants to come in and sit in the chair for the specific hours that they're supposed to be there so they can be paid by the hour. It's not so much about quality of work or thinking outside the box or doing independent research in their silo. So with marketing people, marketing technologies are changing all the time. If you hire an external marketing company, they're going to keep up on those things and they're going to keep you on the cutting edge. So those are some of the benefits that we observed in working with third parties. Are there any other comments on that? Anybody else would like to shout out? Stephanie?
Another thing with working with third-party business owners as opposed to employees is these are business owners. They know what it's like to run a business. They know what challenges they are facing. They know what kind of arena you're playing in. They know what kind of needs and struggles you have. So they're going to be better equipped to tailor their work to what you do, and they might have better advice for you if you have to come to them for their expertise, as opposed to someone who's never been in your shoes, who's never taken on the challenge that you're trying to take on.
Yeah, certainly agree with that.
Great.
Any other thoughts? All right. Well, thanks for participating in the mastermind. Hopefully that'll encourage everybody to kind of think outside the box a little bit. You don't have to do everything yourself. There are experts out there that can help you. Welcome, John.
Hey guys.
Thanks for joining. Better late than never.
Maybe why don't you go through the meeting without me?
Appreciate it. We can give you 2 minutes to chat. We're just about to wrap it up, but would you like to introduce yourself to the group?
Hi guys. Name's John Kennedy. Active CEO at Tech Assist 101 in Sonoma County. Your #1 resource for IT and all problem-solving situations with your tech. Also, purveyor of SoCool.com, a marketing division primarily focused around positive aspects of your business and accentuating those things with video and other medium. Got it?
All right. Thanks a lot, John. John's joining us from California, Northern California.
Bay Area.
Yep. So the last 5 minutes are reserved for announcements. Are there any announcements that anybody would like to? Go ahead, Monica.
You always know I have something.
You do.
I do. So if you like hearing the strategies I talked about earlier today, then you want to know more about these strategies and how to, of course, continue to write your book without divorcing your life, soul, or anything else in your, in your wall. Then I want to invite you to my free workshop that is happening on Tuesday, March 28th at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I will put that in the chat so you can just click on it and it'll take you to the website where you can sign up and register for your free seat. It's going to be a lot of fun. There will be a free gift at the end, so stay tuned for that. Like I said, we're talking about the strategies that I mentioned here, but we're going to go a lot more deeper. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's only going to be 16 minutes, so that's how I'm going to try to keep it because I'm a talker. Imagine that.
Awesome. Thanks, Monica. Stephanie.
I think there's possibility for some serious synergy here because my partner Matt Radin and I, one of the packages we're putting together is he's partnering with somebody who's successfully brought over 700 authors to bestseller status on Amazon with 100% success rate. So we're actually creating a package for people to co-author with other authors. So we have a joint lead generation tool, bring it to bestseller status, and then 5 or so co-authors can all market themselves as bestsellers and bring traffic to each other's lead generation tools. But I'm sure we'll have partners who say they want to write a book and then don't find time. So while we're creating this package, Monica, I'd love to set up time to talk and see if we could possibly bring you into this package to help people who find themselves in that position.
I'm partnering up with somebody in Texas where she helps authors turn into best-selling authors. And she just does the marketing side. And she's like, I'm a good closer. And I'm like, yes. So she's just going to send people my way, and then I'll just send them back to her. It's like, it's kind of cool that we're getting into these partnerships with other people. But yes, let's set up a time to chat.
That would be quite a connection from Wyoming to Canada.
Mm-hmm. I'll message you in the chat box.
Marisa, do you have anything you'd like to announce?
No, I really have nothing that, I don't have any things to invite anybody to or anything like that. But I've never participated in something like this before, and I really like it. So thank you so much. It's awesome.
You look like you're enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
We'll welcome you next week as well. We'll send the link out to you, okay? I have an announcement. I don't like waking up early in the morning. Tomorrow, I have to wake up at 5:30 a.m. to drive to Denver. I'll be presenting at the Highland Heights business morning networking event down there. So if anybody's in that area and wants to come by, it's an Experience Pros event. So Highlands Ranch, that's where it is. I'll be in Highlands Ranch. All right, well, with that, we'll go ahead and open it up for open networking.
Announcements?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, as Dave knows, and those that have seen me prior, I've been working on getting So Cool initiated here, at least as far as the marketing implementation to my existing businesses. And so just so you guys know, my initial facelift is off the ground. You can take a look at the website. And, what we're really looking for is the So Cool businesses. So Cool philosophies, those kind of things. So if you guys want to highlight anything, just go ahead and all this really there is the contact form, but there's some good questions there that you can sort of initiate contact with us, and then we can sort of consult further, do more or less a one-to-one to talk about how we can highlight your business on our page.
I'm looking at it right now. Looks like you've been putting a lot of work in.
Well, you're going to help me put the, icing on the cake there. So I want to talk to you about that. But.
All right. Sounds good. Well, that was 45 minutes of virtual networking. Don't forget to tip your waitresses and drive carefully on your way back to your desk.
Yeah, we didn't do the group photo yet, did we?
That's right. Let's do that. Thank you for reminding me.
Definitely likes the group photo.
Yeah.
Where's your partner over here, Dave? Where's our normal host?
That is 720-987. You see that?
I'm here. I was having internet trouble and I'm homesick. Hi, John.
Oh,
Take the
hey.
photo quick before the cat flips out.
Yeah, you'll be the.
I've been on mute because I keep coughing. Yeah, does Stephanie have her cat for the photo?
Yeah, she does. I think I
Nice.
got it. I'm checking. Everybody started smiling now. Oh, that was a bad one. Let's do it again. Okay,
Oh,
here
man, you take care of that. Garlic.
I'm smiling.
we go. All right, that was better, Chantel.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks for
Get well
joining.
soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Enjoy.
Bye, guys.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye.